Oh, this is the other one that you're gonna crack up at, Carl. So we decided that we have this black faux leather futon couch, and we decided that we're gonna grow up and be adults and get a real couch, and so we got a sectional, and we found this company that you could buy the sections by the piece to fit wherever you want to put it, and so this futon that we've got, I mean, it's barely a year old. We bought it brand new. It's in great shape. I think that a total of like 4 people have ever sat on it. And so we put it up on, my wife puts it up on Facebook Marketplace for $40. I mean, we paid like $250 for it, right? $40. Yeah. You come and get it. Perfect condition, barely used. And some of the questions are just like, I have a little bit of a headache from reading them. Such as, so the ad, barely used futon, $40, you come get it. Does this lay down into a bed? Why, yes, just like every other fucking futon ever made.
Reply back, Google futon.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read some extensive collections of trash people trying to negotiate stuff like, free whatever, just come pick it up.
Yeah, can you deliver it?
Yeah. Deliver it?
Yeah. Another one, she's like, well, can you drop it? I only have $20. It's a $250 futon that's only $40. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's one of those, learn to do math. If you have 20 and it costs 40, then you don't have enough. Right, and nowhere in the ad did it say or best offer or anything like that. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Now, that goes right back to the people are trash discussion that we were having before. Just does it lay down into a bed and I'm just like, oh, God, So I see. Oh, go ahead. I see. Is that Brady that just logged in? Let's see. Okay, there you are. Cool.
Oh, we thought that something would be faster than it is. Heading up to be. He'll be joining us shortly.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sweet.
Playing Final Fantasy something or other and thought a boss would be faster than it's actually ended.
Oh, there's nothing ever fast in Final Fantasy. That is a lesson I've learned. Oh, so Crypt now speaks Giant. That could be potentially handy with all the Frost Giants wandering around. I mean, this is their neck of the woods.
I'm pretty sure I do, at least. Because, I'm just trying to fill out the thing. Because Goliaths. I'm pretty sure Goliaths know Giant. Like that's their base language.
Maybe? Let me double check.
On the SRD,
does,
but there's actually a giant language.
Right.
On the SRD.
Yeah, it uses a Dwarven script.
And it works for ogres and giants.
Created right, common and giant.
But, hey, it's D&D. Just twist your backstory around.
Right.
I was raised by Yon T.
Yes. Yeah.
Also speak giant.
Yeah, Goliath speak common and giant.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So I would think that because of your backstory, you're Dragonborn, but you were basically raised by Goliath, weren't you?
Yeah. Yes.
So that would more or less make sense, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I had a couple of languages that I hadn't populated, and they were free-floating because of the human. There's just like, pick frickin' languages, dude. And I hadn't done it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what, and Dwarvish has come up a few times. It makes sense because he's been a merchant and there's dwarves all over the place.
Yep.
But so I could put that one down.
Definitely.
And then I was thinking, well, I've got my imp familiar, so I was like, well,
Infernal wouldn't be a bad one.
Infernal. Let's see, Primordial is a stretch.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Infernal would be a good one, not only for being able to, I mean, you've got telepathy, but, communication or what you would pick up from your imp. But also because Infernal is going to play some part in the game.
That's enough for me.
We're actually, believe it or not, in tonight's game we're actually going to be getting into the very early beginnings of that leg. So, yeah.
All right, it's on there. Infernal and Dwarvish.
Cool. Let's see. Thank you, Carl. So, I will... There's Colby. Okay. Hello. And then Alyssa said she was going to be a little bit late tonight.
Yep.
She's off doing
Too bad. I mean,
Alyssa
I
things.
picked up ritual magic so that I could make a suitable chariot for her using the floating disc.
Looks like you won't need to.
Right.
No. Got to make it.
All
I
right.
just wanted immediate, feedback.
Okay, I will go ahead and bring us in. Welcome to Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden. We're going to be picking up where we left off last week, but before we get started with that, I would like to thank the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. Excuse me, my allergies are kicking my butt. If you are watching on Twitch, if you scroll down, you should see some tiles. If you don't see the tiles, please click on my profile image, and those tiles should pop up. Each of these tiles will link to these fine people's websites. The first on the list that we would like to thank would be the Speechless Bard. She and her husband make beautiful leather tabletop accessories for your games, such as leather covers for your core rulebooks. She has a full line of dice bracelets. There is a dice mat for rolling, and when you roll it up, it looks like a spell scroll. All of this work can be customized in numerous ways. All of the work is done by hand. She even hand picks the leather swaths that are used, hand stitches, hand stamps, all of it. If you're ordering for a gift idea, make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra time. She's in the UK, and so it can take a little while for this stuff to cross the pond. Next on the list is the Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. They have a line of deodorants, and now they have a line of spray-on colognes. And each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Today I am going with one of their new fall scents. I am wearing the Harvester. It smells of fresh apples and fall leaves. It is quite fragrant. My wife likes to tell me that I smell like a basic bitch. They have a buy one, get one free offer if you're a first-time purchaser. So if you go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, you can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and if you use the code FIRST, that second beard oil will be discounted to free. So where we left off last week, the party had gone to the remote prison called Revel's End, and they were seeking out a prisoner by the name of Vaelish Gant. He was prisoner 237, and Vaelish Gant was a wizard that, for long story short, he tried to take over the 10 towns in Icewind Dale and failed, and he was imprisoned rather than executed because the 10 towns feared that if he was executed, that he is a member of the Arcane Brotherhood. So they were fearful that the Arcane Brotherhood would come in and do all sorts of terrible things to the Icewind Dale region. And the reality, though, is that Gant has spent at least the last 10 years, maybe longer, in Revel's End, and there's been no word from the Arcane Brotherhood. For all intents and purposes, the Brotherhood doesn't seem to care about Gant at all. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows. The Arcane Brotherhood is pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing. But the party was able to negotiate with the warden and the council there, the Council of Absolution, and they were able to get Gant released into the party's, i.e. Turpin's, custody. And once everything is all said and done, if Gant has proven himself to, have helped in assisting the party in stopping this everlasting winter, that will look favorably upon him, and the Council of Absolution may give him a full release and commutation of his life sentence. So Gant is currently traveling with the party. The party has just left the town of Bryn Shander. The other part of this is that Gant is wearing some magical manacles that basically put an effect of an anti-magic spell on his person, whoever's wearing these. So he cannot cast spells, and even if he could, he doesn't have his spell book, and he does not have material components to cast spells. But nonetheless, the party felt more... He is a 9th level caster, so they felt that they were at least safer, since he is evil, that they have this little benefit. And he told them that before they go, he told them about a lost spire of a Netheril city, and that it is hidden somewhere in the snow out in the wastes, and he knows how to get there and where it is. He said before they go in that direction, they have to, one, he needs to talk to the albino tiefling. Her name is Avarice. The party left her at Caer Dineval. 2, he needs to talk with a red wizard of Thay named Dazan, who was last known to be in East Haven. While they were in Bryn Shander, the sheriff of Bryn Shander came to them, and with the full backing of Duvessa Shane, the speaker of Bryn Shander, he told them that the goblin fortress in the foothills of the Spine of the World mountain range, that they had sent a emissary to Bryn Shander wanting to do a peace treaty. And the sheriff doesn't believe it at all. These goblins are scum. But they hired the party, 300 gold pieces each, to go to this goblin fortress at the base of Spine of the World Mountains. And so the party has agreed to do that, but they're going to go talk to Avarice and then stop in East Haven first before they hit the road. So you have left Bryn Shander and you arrive at Caer Dineval. You are welcomed with open arms into the Caer. Things seem back to normal. Town militia is once again manning the walls. There's no sign of the Knights of the Black Sword. And hold on a second. I know I was close. Speaker Krennic Seaver comes out fully dressed, looking much better than he was before. He's got on a wolf pelt fur cloak, And he comes out and greets you. Oh, greetings, friends. It has been some time since I saw you last. Please come in, warm yourselves by the fire. You are always welcome in my home. And he leads you into the main hall. There's a roaring fire in the fireplace, and servants are bringing out food. But there's no sign in the Great Hall of Avarice.
Well, all right. So we catch up, socialize, make nice, find out what's good and what's bad, and we ask about Avarice in the course of conversation.
So, yes, the tiefling lass. She left shortly after you did. Not even 8 hours after you had left. She seemed to be in quite a hurry. Said that there was someplace she had to be.
Oh my!
Didn't give any notice on where she was going. Just that she said that there was someplace she had to be, and she left. Her and that squawking raven that she kept on her shoulder.
Ah, well, was she? Hopefully, she was well prepared for her trip. Did she have a large amount of supplies and dogs and sled and all that stuff? Should we be worried? In other words, I'd like to know if she was packed, how she was packed up for long trip or short walking. What?
She took some meager rations with her, maybe a week's worth, but she didn't leave with a sled. She took off into the snow at night, even on foot.
At night. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. What?
I told her that she shouldn't be out there alone at night, but she didn't seem too concerned about it. She was my guest and not a prisoner, so I had no other choice other than to let her go.
Well, I don't know how to press that conversation further without making it obvious that we're tracking her.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we do know where she was when she checked out or left, right?
Well, she was in
the inn.
Well, no, she was in the Caer. When you guys left, she was in the Caer with Rhonda. You had come back from the Durgar outpost, and Rhonda joined you, but Avarice decided to stay at Caer Dineval. And he's Krennic Seaver is telling you that little more than 8 hours after you left, she packed up her things and left as well.
Left in the dark of the night. So
yes.
Jokingly, I'll say, well, did you count all the silverware? Anything missing?
He laughs. He says, "Oh, she didn't take anything." He said he found it strange that she seemed to head north past Caer Koenig.
Oh my! Yeah, there's nothing up there unless you're cutting west to Kelvin's Cairn. The dwarves out there have been very nice to us, but if she continued on north, she may have some business of her own, because I don't think there's anything there except glacial ice.
No, it is a cold glacier. That is for sure.
Let's see. Oh, and I'll introduce our Vaelish Gant, and let's see. Do I have any ability to? Let's see. Otherwise, he's just gonna look like a prisoner, which he is, of course. But
right.
That's not really a.
Krennic Seaver, the manacle. Vaelish Gant reaches over and shakes Krennic Seaver's hand, and he says, "Gant, Vaelish Gant, at your service." And Krennic Seaver doesn't seem to be put off by the manacles on his wrists at all. He treats him as a valued guest, and even goes so far as to say, well, anybody traveling with my friends here is a friend of mine, and pours Gant a glass of wine.
Okay.
Everybody make a perception check.
Okay, 17 for Turpin. This isn't one he can prepare for, so no guidance on that one.
13 for me.
Okay. What about Crypt?
Looks like he got a 17 also.
Oh, that he did. And Sam?
Yeah.
I muted myself. 21.
Nice.
Yay!
And then before I go further, did Colby? Did you remember did you know to level up Juck Chalk?
I did. What level?
Cool. Excellent.
What level was it?
So it should be level 5.
Okay. I knew it was at least one.
Yeah, I almost debated. In fact, so Turpin and Crypt, do you guys have inspiration points?
I used mine last time.
Yeah, I have one.
Sam, do you have an inspiration point?
Mm-hmm.
So Turpin, go ahead and give yourself another inspiration point. In addition to the level, I want to reward you guys for doing so well in roleplay last week. You guys didn't take... I gave you plenty of opportunity to go ahead and set up the typical jailbreak, escape from Alcatraz kind of situation. And you guys just didn't bite. You decided to roleplay your way through it, and you did a very good job. In fact, I think that last Friday was the only game that I've run in, I want to say almost over a year where there was no combat. Yeah,
Well, we could have thrown ourselves at the ancient dragon.
Yeah, you could have tried to assault Aviatrix. That would have been a party wipe, but whatever. No, you guys did an excellent job.
Yeah, well, Rhonda's been keeping us under tight leash, running around, performing every place.
Right.
I really want to entertain the troops and then just gun them down.
Right. Yeah. That would be kind of rude.
Mm-hmm.
So, Turpin, Crypt, and Sam, you looking around, you are. It occurs to you what you've heard from some of the townsfolk prior to this. The townsfolk at Caer Dineval often speak of Cranach Seaver as being a bit of a blowhard. Some have referred to him as a bully, but it seems that he's a bit of a blowhard who is more interested in all of the accoutrements and benefits that one gets from ruling a town as opposed to actually, ruling the town. The town itself, when you came in, doesn't really appear to be all that different from the last time that you were here. The old inn that you had fought off some Durgar in still is boarded up. And the damage that was done during that fight is still evident. Nobody seems to have taken that inn back over. Nobody has repaired anything. And meanwhile,
did they burn it down?
Yeah, I think you guys ended up lighting it on fire. It was.
Somebody else did.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But that's still, completely untouched. The rest of the town is still huddling inside, the taverns and their own homes. Meanwhile, he's living lavishly and pretty much acting like nothing is afoot.
Well, that's very interesting. I'll talk to him about this never-ending winter and how it is affecting revenue. You know, like I can see that Caer Dineval is it's a shadow of what it was 15 years ago before this damned cold. And how are you how are you doing on raising taxes off people that are just barely making it? You know, it seems like we should be working on something to make things a little bit more profitable around here. I look at him and how he's dressed and figure that that's a good approach to talk money.
He says, "Oh, I'll be honest with you. Financially, times are lean. This damned winter has come in and cut off all trade and ale. The town is without ale. But, woodland creatures abound. There's plenty of food to be had. And as you can see, we have no lack of food. Those townsfolk just need to knuckle down, hunker in, and bar the windows, and we can get through this winter. It has to end sometime."
I glare at the speaker. I'm like, no, you're a selfish, corrupted.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Well, it's time for a fight.
21.
He says, "Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. These people need to learn how to take care of themselves."
Yeah, they need to learn how to take care of themselves while you're in here dressed in the finest attire, eating the best food you can get your hands on while they're out there in the cold.
Why, I don't think I like your tone, young man.
Yes,
Turpin, well, this is awkward.
It's just logic. You're
Well, even though...
selfish. If you went out in the cold for a day, you wouldn't make it. Alone.
Yeah, there are challenges to rule as well, young Crypt.
He's not doing much of any ruling, is he?
Well, that's what we've been discussing.
Benefiting.
Sometimes I'll talk to the speaker and say, the young, sometimes they just don't understand. Come, Crypt. Perhaps we should change of venue here. And, we've had a great time. Thank you, speaker. I think maybe we'll just settle in at the inn tonight.
Oh, okay, well, good night to you, Sir Turpin.
So I'll try to let Crypt know that, yeah, I agree, but we need to, let's leave and then let's discuss.
So you guys move over to the inn for the night, and Vaelish Gant looks at Crypt, and he looks at you, and he says, "I don't know, I think he was a perfectly fine gentleman of a host."
Well, his concern for his citizens, his the people that he's in charge of, doesn't quite meet our level of what we would desire from our leaders. And I would like to get a second opinion from someone else as to what's going on here. And that's why, especially why I think it's good to go to the inn here where we can talk to other people and find out how the town is doing from their perspective. Let's get some evidence before we bring down the banhammer on the speaker.
So their only inn was Dinev's Rest, which, as was so aptly brought up, is burned to the ground. There is a tavern, but they don't have an inn to stay in.
Oh, that's right. Oh, dang it. I thought there was a second one, and there's not. We were told to... That's right. We spent the night in the burnt-out place.
Right. People in the tavern, when you come in, the innkeeper, Rourke, welcomes you and says, "Oh, you've returned. You put away those damned black swords. You get a night free on the house, and I'll feed you, and I'll give you what little drink we have."
So where did... Yeah. Now, I think I bought... I don't have any right now, but I bought booze at cost when we saw the dwarves. I don't remember buying any dwarven ale.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, and I thought you bought a keg of dwarven ale and like 2 casks of fire brandy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes. Yeah. All right.
They had a bunch. I specifically remember Chris talking about how they had a ton. And so, like, you're like, oh, I'll buy a bunch of it.
Yeah. Well, and I've spent a ton of money, so I'm sitting at just over 100 gold pieces now as far as cash on hand. But I will sell the dwarven ale and the 2 fire brandies. I don't know if those were any different, but
Yeah, so the keg of dwarven ale, so the inn is, Caer Dineval is dry right now because the ferry across Loch Dinishire to East Haven is frozen in. And
so that's who they usually get their booze from.
Right. Right. He's willing to give you 150 gold pieces just for the keg of ale.
All right.
And for the fire brandy, he will give you 75 gold a bottle for it, or a cask for it.
All right. So that's a total of 300.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 of one, and so I will do that. And we're headed. I'll ask the crew and Vaelish. Our next stop is potentially East Haven. Not sure how. Well, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to check with the group yet as far as like whether he wants to place an order for us to go down to East Haven and supply him stuff, but whatever. So it's all sold. We got some cash. We'll try to do business later.
And
he
he offers you, he says it's not much and it's a small room, but if you don't mind bedding down on the floor next to him in his cot, you're welcome to stay overnight in the inn.
Well, that's extremely kind of him, and perhaps some of us might take that crypt just to avoid being around the speaker. But tell me more about what's been going on since the speaker's been freed of those black sword folk.
Well, it says things.
We met with him, and he seems really unconcerned, and I thought this place would be doing a little bit better by now.
Oh, he's still insisting that the people of the town need to buckle down and take care of ourselves, and that somehow this winter's going to magically go away. It's been here magically for 2 years straight, so I don't know where he's getting this idea from, but he is insisting that his good fortune will trickle down to the rest of us, and honestly, we're not seeing that.
So, good fortune, how is he, is there something, something didn't ring true when we were talking with him. It could just be the disconnect of the noble with the common folk, but
well,
does it seem that has he made new friends or things, is he...
He hasn't made new friends, but he's not completely incorrect as far as the food situation goes. So, Fishing in Loch Dinneshere still seems to be pretty good. They're still pulling out knucklehead trout. With the freeze over, it's a little bit more difficult than it was before, but the food source is plenty. The other benefit is that because of the everlasting rime, the herds have not, moved as much. So hunting is good. So there's not really a lack of food so much as there is of, and there's not a lack of fresh water either, because all you got to do is grab some snow, right, and warm it up. But there is a lack of the niceties. The trade has slowed to a almost complete halt. There's no booze, and the one thing people want when they're locked inside their homes is something to drink.
All right, and how are you doing for fuel to keep people warm, to keep the cold from taking over this town?
Well, that can be problematic, but there's still plenty of woods and whatnot around. We go out and we forage and we can bring back timber, so it's not a dire situation, but there is a lack of trade and the niceties, the things that make life worth living.
So you would say that the speaker is basically a negligent landlord, but not necessarily harmful.
Right. Yeah. He's a jerk, but he's not actively doing anything that is harming the town. He's not doing anything to help them either.
Okay. So what is this? What's going on with the albino tiefling? We heard that she just took off in the middle of the night and went up to the north to the.
Aye, she headed up towards Caer Dineval, all by herself on foot.
With not a whole lot of supplies from what I heard. So that's concerning. Any other strangers or events in town that stand out that hit the rumor mill?
Nothing yet. We do wish that they would break that ferry loose over in East Haven. But aside from that, nothing of any notice.
All right, guys, do whatever. I'm tapped out. I figured we'll just have to head up to Caer Dineval to chase Rebel tomorrow morning or something.
All right.
So whatever you guys want to chase, burn down the speaker's castle.
So we just all get to chase different things. You get to chase the rebels. I'll chase the mice.
I suspect that Pronda's going to stay at the castle.
So
punch the speaker in the face.
So there's
he is regardless of his personality, he is the lord of this area, and if you punch him in the face, it's going to make traveling here difficult, and I don't know that it's going to do a whole lot of good for the people.
That's true.
It doesn't seem like it'll do a whole lot of bad either.
So you stay the night. You wake up in the morning, and Vaelish Gant tells you, he says, well, if Avarice has taken off into the snow, speaking to her isn't necessarily super important. It would have been nice to know what, any information that she might have. But I suggest that if I am given a vote, I suggest we continue on to East Haven.
I'm all for that. I wasn't sure just how important Avarice was to your. We're very grateful and counting on your assistance to find this lost spire. So
He says basically he tells you
We need a
that
boat?
he tells you that the only reason he wanted to speak to Avarice first is because she is a fellow member of the Arcane Brotherhood and may have had information about what was going on with the Arcane Brotherhood in this area. And maybe, if they had any information on this everlasting winter, but it's not, critical that we speak with her.
Yeah, and Caer Dineval, there aren't any strangers here, so as far as having a wandering harper in disguise sitting in the bar, well, that ain't happening. Let's head to East Haven. Maybe there's more chance of getting information there.
Okay. So,
okay, guys?
You pack up and head out to East Haven. Crypt, make a survival check.
Are we taking a boat?
No. Remember, the ferry is frozen at East Haven, so there's really no easy way to take a boat from Dineval to East Haven.
Nat 20 for my survival check.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
We stumble across an intermittently working teleportation portal that cuts days off the travel. And it flickers and fades after we pass through.
A dead hunting camp with like 8 pelts.
Or maybe, something we can attack because, our bloodthirst has not been fed for weeks.
So with Crypt's excellent survival check and your sleds, it only takes you about 4 hours to get from Caer Dineval to East Haven. And
nice.
This is the map of East Haven in the lower southwest quadrant. You come in via the east way. And yeah.
Nice.
And as you come in, the dusky daylight is just now starting to get dark, and you see that there's a large group of people gathered in the middle of town. You've stabled your dogs and sleds in the stables, and you come to towards the center of town, over here to the east. And there's a large group of people, and as you're approaching, you can see a column of smoke coming up from the center of town, and as you get closer, you can feel that it's generally warmer. There appears to be a large bonfire going on. A crowd is gathered in front of the town hall to watch the public execution of Dazan, a human wizard who, despite efforts to disguise himself, was recognized and arrested for crimes he has inflicted upon Dale folk. He has been bound to a stake and gagged. Members of the militia use torches to light the straw tucked around his feet. Fanned by the wind, the fire catches quickly. Dazan does not struggle or scream as he is quickly engulfed in flames. Bundled up spectators move closer to the human bonfire, eager to feel its warmth.
Oh, wow.
Ew.
And Vaelish Gant just claps his hands together and he says, "Oh, this is delicious." he looks over at Jock and he goes, "Makes your stomach grumble, doesn't it? Smells wonderful."
Just a little bit.
He says,
He was a good man.
He says, "I'm not going to lie. Dazan was a son of a bitch, but it is unfortunate. He probably would have had some decent information, but oh well." You are approached. Hold on a moment here.
Who's got speak with dead?
Do we have a cleric or paladin?
Nope.
A woman bedecked in a tailored coat and fur hat approaches you. And she introduces herself. She says, "Hello, I am Captain Arligoth. I would like to speak to you. I'm aware of your presence in the 10 towns. You are known to travel with a infamous bard by the name of Hronda. Is that correct?"
Oh, certainly. I didn't know that there was any degree of infamy associated with her.
Word is...
All I've seen is she's done wonders for people.
She says, word is getting around the 10 towns that is one way to recognize you, but I'm aware that you've been in towns where you have done some good for the towns, shall we say.
Well, thank you. That is very heartwarming. Yes, indeed. That has been my life's goal in the last few years. So how can we help you?
She says, well, this seems like a trivial matter, but 4 fishers have gone missing on Loch Dinishir a 10 day ago. The coastline is hard to sail along because of the ice floes, but savvy anglers seem to prefer it. There are a few competing fishers from other lake towns here. We need someone to scout the coastline and search for them.
The coastline is extensive, and you would that is a large area to be searching. It seems treacherous. Aren't there locals that know the lake?
Well,
intimately.
Originally it was only 2 fishers that had disappeared, and I had asked a couple of other fishers to keep an eye out for them, and they went, and they didn't return either.
Ah, that is very concerning.
I bet if you send out 2 more fishers, you'll find them.
Just keep doing it. Sooner or later, somebody's bound to succeed.
So, exactly how many fishers have you got left?
So the other thing that you notice about East Haven as you've come into town, East Haven is bustling. East Haven was known before this 2-year winter has gone on as really being Bryn Shander's known as the hub of the 10 towns, but East Haven holds the honor of being a trade hub. They have literally built themselves on being a trade hub. And looking around the town, it's like you've gone back in time and stepped into Icewind Dale's past. Even today, it seems to be a boom town.
Ah. And who is this lady that's talking to us? What's her title? And
she is the sheriff of East Haven, and her name is Captain Arligoth.
Captain Arligoth. Okay, so
she's not really the sheriff. She's the captain of East Haven's militia.
Ah, well, that's pretty high up. Yeah, it's like, wow, you know what? I spent my entire life as a merchant, and I have seen that this 2-year winter has really shut down business in among the 10 towns, but East Haven is doing awesome. What's the secret?
She says, well, East Haven built itself on being traders from Cape Velen, which is a duchy far to the south. She says, and we were a trade nexus before all of this happened, and we still try to get a few ships out as often as we can. Ships come in and out from Luskin all the way up the Sea of Moving Ice, and then they move trade in, from the Sea of Moving Ice. She says it's hard, back-breaking work, but it has kept us It's kept us solvent all this time.
So you still have trade going. I mean, I don't know if you're winging this, but if they're coming through the sea of moving ice, then they're going to be coming through like Targos and Bryn Shander, because that's to the west.
Often they do. They do a little bit of speculative trading along the way in Targos and Bryn Shander, but the bulk of the cargo comes to us. Assuming that it's not raided by those damned goblins.
Yeah, down at Carcolo.
That would be the place. Yes.
Well, we had heard that there were some rumblings of negotiating with them to try to normalize relations.
She just starts laughing. She goes, "Yeah, negotiate with goblins." That's a good joke.
Has it been tried in the past, or is it just that they're noxious, horrible creatures?
They're vermin.
Ah, okay. It's not so much history as in an assessment of their personalities.
She says, "If you agree to help me out,
Exactly.
and really, you don't have to search the entire coastline. It's mostly the southeastern portion of the coastline. If you can search that area and tell me what you find, I would be very much appreciative." She tells you. She says, so she points to the human bonfire, and she says, "So this gentleman had a spell scroll of fireball in a copper tube and a gray bag of tricks. I would be willing to give one of those items to the party if you were to help us out in searching for these 4 fishermen."
Well, that's very kind of you. I actually, thanks to Vaelish here, he has recently taught me the fireball spell, and I've just enjoyed practicing with it. I've only been able to fire it off once, but that was late last night, and it was exciting. So, but perhaps the bag of tricks would come in very handy for someone in the party.
So,
However, I'm interested in finding out I'd like to make a kind of a bulk purchase of your ale, if possible. Could you also connect me up with someone to do some business?
oh, certainly.
Right,
We can definitely do that. In fact, if you want to take on this this little assignment, the town, I would be happy to have you put up at the White Lady Inn. So to tell you what a bag of tricks is, this is an ordinary bag made from gray, rust, or tan cloth. It appears to be empty. Reaching inside the bag, however, reveals the presence of a small fuzzy object. The bag weighs a half pound. You can use an action to pull a fuzzy object from the bag and throw it up to 20 feet. When the object lands, it transforms into a creature you determine by rolling a d8 and consulting the table. So this is a gray bag of tricks. You can pull out a weasel, a giant rat, a badger, a boar, panther, giant badger, dire wolf, or giant elk.
That would be pretty darn cool.
The creature,
I love magic.
The creature is friendly to you and your companions, and it acts on your turn. It acts at the end of your turn. You can use a bonus action to command how the creature moves and what action it takes on its next turn, or to give it general orders, such as to attack your enemies. In the absence of such orders, the creature acts in a fashion appropriate to its nature. Once 3 fuzzy objects have been pulled from the bag cannot be used again until the next dawn.
Okay. Well then, yeah, we want to help. So we'll talk before we head out. We will identify the people and learn about the people that we're looking for.
Okay.
What they had with them, as far as if we see a wrecked ship, or we need to know some details about
Well, they went out in
sleds
they went out in simple sailing boats, or not sailing boats. They went out in simple fishing boats, of which there are basically two. One is a rowboat. The rowboat. Let's see here. Rowboat will hold up to 4 people. If you and obviously if Honda's here, you would have more than that. So the option would be for you to take 2 rowboats, or you could take a small sloop, single-masted sloop. But if you take the single-masted sloop, somebody would have to have proficiency in water vehicles.
And the Loch Denishir is not frozen over. They can still.
Oh yes, indeed. Our ferry has been frozen in place. So we haven't been able to ferry anything over to Caer Dineval and Caer Konig, right?
So, but these guys were out in ships.
Well, it's basically a large rowboat with a single mast sail. It's not big by any means.
So there's like ice. It's like chunks of ice or ice flows here, not solid.
Correct.
Okay.
But you see that some of the docks towards the So she walks you over towards the White Lady Inn, which is to the northeast, northwest. It is over here where I'm pinging on the map. And it is very near the East Haven Ferry, the White Lady Inn. And you can see that the East Haven Ferry and these docks are almost completely frozen in. Out on the ice flow, you can see that there are a number of boats, rowboats, and single-masted sloops that are kind of beached up on the ice flow, and they're launching from the edge of this ice. So these docks are all just encrusted in snow and ice. You can see at the end of the East Haven Ferry, you can see the ferry boat that it's sitting at an angle, frozen into the ice.
Okay, so there is liquid water, but they've had to move away from the docks because the docks have been disabled by ice.
Correct.
Okay, and so now that we understand that and that we can go in the water, these guys, the people that know them, that they obviously these are fishermen, and there's a community that knows them, and they have family and friends and stuff. Where do they? We're supposed to head to the east along basically along the river kind of route.
Right.
What is it? Red Run River or whatever, and we'll do that. Does anybody have any advice? Like, oh yeah, Joe likes to go about 2 miles up, and he's got a special spot, or is there any info from people that know these guys, or are we just going to go wandering and looking?
Well, there are a number of fishermen in the White Lady that can give you information on, where these 4 like to do their fishing. Perhaps, they can give you insight into, what you're looking for exactly.
And so do they head off away from the ice shelf? And I guess you can't really stay too close because the flows get more and more treacherous the closer you get to solid ice.
True.
So we're going to have to go out. We can't stay next to solid ice. We're going to have to go out into the wet.
Right.
Okay, got it. That's scary.
So she leads you into the White Lady Inn, and she goes up. The White Lady is a musty old inn. It's named after a local legend known as the White Lady, a ghost rumored to walk on Loch Donashire, haunting the spot where her rich husband drowned. And she leads you in, and there's an elderly man named Bardabin behind the counter, and he says, "Oh, what can I do for you, Captain?" And she says, "These fine people, they will be staying on the speakers tab. Just go ahead and talk to Speaker Daneth at the end of the week, and he'll pay for their whatever they eat, drink, or for their lodgings." And he says, "Oh, that'll be fine. That'll be fine." And as you're in there, you see this stout halfling, Strongheart halfling. He's one of the halflings that are a little bit shorter and pudgier than the other halflings, and he comes around and he's asking everyone. He says, "Oh, I hope I can see you in the back room. We're going to be conducting a seance tonight. We're going to contact the White Lady. Can I? Excuse me, good people. Can I ask you to join our seance this evening?"
Help me out of it.
Well,
I'm gonna go fishing.
what is the purpose of contacting the dead? Aren't they resting comfortably?
Oh, no. The White Lady's not resting comfortably at all. She walks on the lake searching for her dead husband. We think that she may know something about this everlasting winter. We live in dark times. Perhaps the spirit of the White Lady can help us. Aren't you curious to hear what she has to say?
Well, certainly. Tell me the story of the White Lady. How long ago did she pass away? And why would you think that she would know anything about this eternal winter?
He has a fiddle, and he kind of plucks at it, and he says, "The White Lady's husband was a miser who kept his treasure in a heavy locked chest that never left his side. Perhaps it was this heavy chest that capsized his boat and sent the man to his sunken grave. Or perhaps it was the fright of seeing his dead wife that caused him to capsize the boat and drown. Either way, I'm certain that the man's treasure lies at the bottom of the lake, waiting for some intrepid explorer to find it."
Aha. Well, we are actually trying to find the lost fisherman, and this seems of a decent entertainment value, but not necessarily one that's going to help anyone in particular.
Well, she might have an answer about them, too. You never know what the White Lady will have to say. You can join our seance. It's happening tonight.
Well,
Crip doesn't like taking part in anything undead. It unsettles him.
yeah.
What about Sam and Juck Jock?
Nope. Not having any of that.
The only thing is that in this world, the undead are a real thing. So the only reason to engage in this is to shut down somebody messing with undead. Otherwise, this is just doesn't really fit our group. So if I'm not getting any vibes that these guys are actually trying to mess with undead, then I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay.
I'll ask Sarah to just find a little corner in the room up at the top and keep an eye out on them.
Okay. So you guys are fed a meal, and you stay the night, and everybody roll
I was gonna go fishing.
Yeah, you go fishing. Everybody, you go fishing, and you don't catch anything.
Oh, okay.
But
But if we help the fishermen, maybe they can keep you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right.
So everybody roll a perception check.
Ooh, 24 for Turpin. That's probably because Sarah was spying.
11.
21.
Okay. What did Sam get?
11.
And what about Juck Jock?
He's over there trying to eat the. He's trying to eat the burned guy.
Yeah. Just a taste. So, Crypt and Turpin, you wake up in the middle of the night. It feels like the whole inn is shaking. And then after a few seconds, that seems to settle down and go away, and you go back to sleep. The next morning, Sarah, your imp, tells Turpin, she says the halfling Ronaldo was successful with his seance and made contact with the White Lady. It was unsettling, to say the least. And this is coming from an imp. And the imp tells you that there was things like messages being written in the frost on windows. Questions were asked of the spirit and answers were given.
Oh my.
And he says, Sarah says, one piece of information that the White Lady parlayed with the seance is that a magic cauldron is hidden in some frozen lakeside caves. The cauldron is guarded by an evil hag named Maud Chiselbone and conjure enough stew to feed a starving town indefinitely.
Oh, that could help.
And that is Sarah's report.
Well, I thank her immensely, and who performed the necromantic magic necessary to contact the White Lady?
Ronaldo, the halfling, and a couple of 4 townsfolk.
Well, we'll keep an eye or a mental note on who it is that's trying to mess around with dead folk. That's interesting.
Sarah tells you, honestly, I think my presence was seen by the spirit. She blew out the windows in the back room and shook the walls of the inn when she discovered me. I quickly left.
Was Ronaldo around for us to say, hey, how'd it go? It felt the whole room shake.
So you guys come down for breakfast before leaving out to search for these fishermen, and Ronaldo is there, and he says, "Oh, you missed a great seance. We made contact."
You're messing around with the dead. That's not something to play with.
Oh, but she gave good information. She told us that there are gray-skinned dwarves that have been stalking about. Says there are some here in East Haven, even.
Oh, we have run into quite a few of the Duergar up north at Caer Dineval and Caer Konig, and a little further west from there. They're bad news. So there's rumors of them here too, huh?
Yes.
What do the rumors say?
She told us that their intentions are not good. They hike about the town towards the ferry.
The ferry.
They might want to sneak in.
Well, we've seen them, and they're free, which is actually a feat in and of itself because they are frequently invisible.
That is true.
And they are mean little folks, except when they swell up and get really huge.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that's all the
rescue.
that's all the information that you get from them, and you finish your breakfast and you make your way out onto the ice floe, and Captain Arlagath meets you and walks out on the ice floe, and there are 4 rowboats and 2 single-mast sloops there. Which would you like to use? Does anybody have proficiency in vehicles water?
This isn't Traveler.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't think anyone chooses proficiency in vehicle.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't choose it, but depending on your background, you may have it.
Well, let me look, because my background was as a merchant that traveled, but I think I kind of expanded. Let's see, what's my guild merchant? I have navigator.
My background is Outlander.
Yeah, all I've got is navigator's tools.
Okay. So, rowboat it is.
All right.
So you guys board up on these rowboats and you head out. You've got navigator's tools. Turpin, go ahead and make a survival check.
All right. I will prepare for that.
You can add your proficiency bonus to that because you are proficient in navigator's tools.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So I'll do that. I'm going to use guidance a little bit, but then you said it was... What was the test?
Survival.
Survival?
Yeah.
So 22 plus 3, so 25 total.
Okay.
That was a nice roll.
So you are able to navigate this boat fairly well. The rest of the group is rowing, and you're able to steer the boat and use your navigator's tools, and you come up to an area. A rowboat bobs untethered in the water amid some small ice floes, not far from the 80-foot high cliffs that abut the shoreline. The mouths of 4 caves dot the snowy cliffside. One of these caves is at water level, and the others are elevated 20 to 30 feet above the frozen lake. The wind tearing through these icy caves sounds like moaning.
I will ask Sarah to get a little elevation and go and not enter those upper ones, but look in to see if they're dead ends or if there's, some sign, like, maybe there's a door or I don't know. I have no idea. Just look. Go up there and look at those upper ones.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to climb 30 feet up an icy frozen mountain just to find a dead end hole.
So in the first one, so you want her to, you don't want her to go all the way in, but just to take a look.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's not to put herself at risk. Just to identify if there's that's plenty. Okay, so they actually do go back in a little bit as far as she can see maybe 20, 30. She does have night vision, or dark vision, so she can see back a little bit. Okay.
And she tells you, so yeah, the upper caves do go back in a little bit. The bottom cave where this water meets the lake, it looks like it was an underground river, and it is frozen solid. Correct.
Okay.
She also tells you. She also tells you that. Let's see here. She tells you that down here, the bottom cave in the snowy ice pack, there are human-sized boot prints in the ice.
Well, I don't like climbing, guys. I say that let's go and secure the boat near the solid ice cave and walk it down into there. What do you think?
We're certain that this ice is safe to walk on, right?
Well, there's boot prints in it, so.
All right.
Oh, and just an FYI, Chris, because I don't know that I've done it with you or not, but I have the shape water cantrip.
Uh-huh.
And it lets you do things with to make ice. So I don't know how you'll rule that, but just FYI, I may try to use that in weird ways.
Okay, no problem. I'm putting you guys on the board here.
So is the ice strong enough to support a 360-pound giant like me?
Nah, we're about to find out.
I really doubt you're 360 pounds.
I'm 7'4".
Yeah, you're still probably not 360 pounds. But yeah, it's strong enough to do that.
Oh, okay.
So Andre the Giant weighed 520 pounds.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Muscle is pretty heavy.
But he was 7'4".
I mean, muscle's heavier than fat.
That's true. Okay.
All right, maybe around 320.
So yeah, this was an underground river that flowed out of these caves into the lake, and it is frozen solid. Anybody who wants to can make a survival check.
Is this something that we would know we're doing a survival check for? In which case I can add guidance, or is it?
Well, you're trying to find the tracks that Sarah had said she'd seen.
Okay. Well, then I will try to use guidance to help me with this task.
Okay.
So freaking 14. But I'll let Crip know that if he feels that the ice is a little thin, I can freeze it up a lot more solid.
It should be fine. So, with your 14, you do find the tracks, and they lead deeper into the cave.
All right. Well, we don't have to worry about the tracks just disappearing and there being like some sort of secret door. So.
Right. Here.
And nobody has pass without trace, right? We can't do group stealth.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Then let's clink and clank and move on down the this river thing. Oh, what is this waterfall we get to?
Frozen waterfall, yeah.
I'll tell you.
Suppose.
The river used to tumble over a small waterfall in this area, following the current west towards Loch Donishu. The waterfall now takes the form of a 10-foot tall sheet of ice that can be climbed, although the ice is thin and easily broken. So, where the water spray has come out from this waterfall has just frozen into these sharp, icy shards that are thin. But this waterfall can be climbed.
Well, I will use shape water to make steps that go up.
Okay. You
Because I can't do any athletics whatsoever. Screw that noise.
you shape the water, and as the water is shaping into these steps, it releases a water weird.
That's pretty strange.
And there was much rejoicing. Everybody starts rattling their dice.
Hold on here. Everybody roll initiative. The water weird really tapped out.
If I click my guy and then do initiative, it will preload it for you. There we go. So if you go to the map and you click your character and then go and leave it clicked where it has the red, green, and blue circles, and then you go and click initiative, it'll just slam it up into the turn order for you.
Very nice.
Alright, just go to the turn order section, click on
Yeah, you can edit it directly, which is really good if you want to cheat.
Right.
There.
What did Jock get?
14. 14. I forgot I don't have like a +6 to initiative.
So, Turpin, you're 96.
Yeah, I rolled a 96.
Right.
No, I'll fix it. It's a 15.
What are you rolling, percentile?
Right.
I just have massive pluses to initiative.
That's all he does. He has zeros and everything else.
So between
I sold all of my stats down to 1.
right. So between Crypt and
God,
Sam,
NEC.
Which one of you wants to go first?
I really don't care, except that I'll character
Both
shreds.
after the weird,
Okay.
so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so we'll leave it the way it
the
is.
way it is.
All right.
Just leave it.
Okay.
So the weird. The weird is going to go after Jock. He's racist against lizard folk. I'm going to imagine that a 12 does not hit.
No.
So this water weird moves towards Jock and tries to wrap itself around him, but fails. Crypt, what would you like to do?
I will attack it with my halberd.
Okay.
Enter a range, then attack it with my halberd.
Okay.
First attack. I think a 21 hits
Yes, it does.
for 19 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Second attack.
Is your halberd magical?
I don't think it is, no.
Okay, so he is only going to take half of that for 9 points.
Dang it. I thought you were going to splash one water weird in the first round.
Yep.
Second attack.
They are resistant to fire, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. They are immune to poison, and they are immune to exhaustion, grappled, paralyzed, poisoned, restrained, prone, or unconscious.
21 to hit for my next attack.
Yes.
26 damage.
For 13.
Yep. And that's my, no, I'll move back here too.
Okay.
Just so he has a harder time getting to me since I have reach and he doesn't.
Okay. You're out of range.
Oh.
Each square is 10 feet. So.
Well, I
yeah,
was
there you
talking
go.
about square.
Yeah, there you
Squares.
go. There you go. Okay. Sam, what would you like to do?
Vicious Mockery.
All right.
Tried and true.
So the weird gets a wisdom save?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Weird, I see some yellow streaks in your leg there. Did you soak up some pee?
The weird gets a 3 on their save.
Made him look.
Evidently, you're going to give the water weird a headache, evidently.
Of course I am. It's always those D4s I can never find. I have to take out 20 dice. Uh, 6 damage.
Okay.
There's disadvantage on that next attack if it survives that bomb.
Okay. Turpin.
And then I will
Oh, sorry.
do a little diddle on my violin.
Okay.
Nothing happens, just a little diddle.
Okay. Turpin, what would you like to do?
These are 10-foot squares, so I will move to where I have line of sight to the water weird.
Okay.
But I'm not quite sure where that would be because we're really huge. Because I'm like 10 foot wide.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I'll try to position, and you can just randomly say whether there is a place that I can position for a ranged attack or not. And then I will Eldritch Blast that sucker.
So you could move right here, and that's just about all of your movement.
Okay.
And you could Eldritch Blast him.
All right. I'll try to keep a 5-foot gap between me and him, if possible.
Actually, I think you're better than 5 feet. You are just about 10 feet.
That suits me just fine, because I don't want him hitting me. And I'll go make a little...
Oh, he does have 10-foot reach.
Oh, well, life sucks for me then. So the first one is a
24, that hits.
Yeah, I'm just interested in why it also rolled the damage instantly, but I don't really care.
So he takes
that was the first
17. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can subtract... Well, 3 of that is fire damage.
Oh, okay.
So you can subtract that.
Okay.
And the second one for 14.
That is also a hit.
So it was
14
and
did.
14 is 28.
And how much of the 14 was fire damage?
None. I get to use it once.
Okay.
Is the water weird immune to cold?
No. No, he is not.
Oh, cool.
Jock, what would you like to do?
The waterware is the U7 symbol, right? Oh no, it's the
Yeah,
it's
right in front of you.
it blends in with the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it does say invisible in water, so...
That's pretty weird.
I'm gonna cast.
I saw a great meme today. Don't you think that necromancers should be buff? Why would they be buff? Because they're doing all that deadlifting.
Oh. D&D dad jokes.
Oh my god. It's terrible. I'm gonna use cast Flame Blade.
Okay.
Gotta find it here real quick.
So he'll take half damage from fire.
But it is magic, at least.
But it is magic,
Yeah.
right?
I knew I had to choose a magic spell. Or magic is something.
The other joke that had Gabe cracking up, mostly because we have the sense of humor of 10-year-olds. A wife asks her husband, she says, "Do you pee in the shower?" And he says, "Well, yeah, sometimes a little bit on accident." And she says, "How do you pee a little bit on accident?" He says, "Well, sometimes a little bit comes out when I poop."
Does a 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
Half of 13.
That's still more than he's got, because he only had 2 left. And the water weird goes
the
down.
flaming sword goes in his guts and he just...
Yeah, you stab him, and
Yeah.
it's just like this column of water just splashes down onto the icy floor. All right. Hold on just a moment. I'll be right back.
That's terrible.
Okay, so there are these icy steps formed into the waterfall thanks to Turpin.
I'm gonna go up before anyone else breaks them.
Okay. Hold on a second, let me look at this. Okay.
just to be safe, Turpin makes a banister so that people can, hold on to, won't fall, break a hip.
Let's make a ramp.
I can't make a ramp, it's ice.
Well, we need to make it wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
We'll have to have some lawyers from hell come and give me shit for not making it.
Right.
Is it the demon lawyers?
So Sam goes up ahead of everybody else.
Every lawyer.
Yes, every lawyer.
And the frozen river continues to the kind of meanders to the northwest, then curves back to the northeast, but generally continues to the north. And you see that further down the river, there is a bridge that spans of just pure rock that spans over the river 20 feet up above. Actually, from where you're at, it's 40 feet up above. And it seems that the bridge connects to other caves deeper in. But there's also this little path here that heads to the east. And it's like 5 feet above the river.
How about the footprints we've been tracking?
Make a survival check.
All right. I'm going to see if this guidance will give me more than just one. That's all I've gotten today.
I can make a survival check.
Oh, and then here's my survival. So, yeah, I'm not finding them right now.
Yeah, I can find them.
Well, I think my biggest problem is that I'm behind all you yahoos that are dragging your feet through the snow.
So,
As in jump jocks and mine cases are tails.
Yeah, all I see is stomp, stomp, stomp.
so yeah, Turpin's looking around. Does somebody else want to make a survival check?
Yeah,
I did. I got on that one. I'm just distracted by the way the sound travels through the air. And
Yes.
goes. Beautiful symphony.
That's 21.
Okay. So yeah, you see that the boot prints go up this path. And all of you can hear the wind blowing through these caverns sounds like an old woman moaning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I've got PTSD about old women moaning.
And yeah, and it's just constant.
All right. Well, I will make some stairs here, and as I use the water-shaping spell, the stuff behind us goes splooshing back to liquid, because I can only have 2 or 3 instances of that at a time.
All right. So you're heading up the trail following the boot prints.
Yes. We're following the boot prints. The boot prints.
Okay. Who's going for, well, it doesn't matter.
Not Turpin.
Me.
Turpin has thin old man skin. Swords and knives cut it very easily.
So there's a small, rough-hewn ledge pattern that appears to be stairs. It's hard to tell if it's actually been hand-carved into the stone or if it's a natural feature, but it's a small staircase that leads up. And this cave is higher in elevation than the tunnels leading to it, but is easily reached by climbing over 2 flights of crude stairs. Through the ceiling of this cave that you're in, you can see natural daylight coming down. not like a bright light, but it's at least enough to illuminate and dim light this area. Everybody make a perception check.
22.
21.
10.
15.
Okay, so everybody except Jock. All of you notice scattered on the floor are various bones, and there's blood on the floor. You see knucklehead trout spines, humanoid skeletons in pieces, bones of small animals, birds, scraps of clothing and armor, and a few rusty weapons. Everybody except Jock, among these bones in the middle of the cave, you see that it partially encased in ice against this wall here. You see the skeleton of a frost giant. And it's like I said, it's partially encased in the ice.
Oh, that's not cool. I don't really have any way to tell if that is just a plain Jane skeleton or if there is any necromantic energy with that thing.
And there is, of course, a path leading out of here to the northeast.
Is the skeleton like completely intact?
Yes.
The skull and spine. Oh crap! Any weapons frozen with it?
I believe yes, but let me double check that. Yes. In its right hand, partially frozen in the ice, is a great axe.
Okay, guys. That is probably an animated skeleton at some point, because if it was a flesh and blood frost giant that decayed to nothing but bones, I don't think it would be holding a big old frickin' axe. The gap between the bones and the handle of the axe, I probably can't see close enough, because I sure as heck don't want to get... Actually, I'll ask Sarah, since I'm standing like close to the exit, like the brave leader of the retreat that I am. I'll ask Sarah to get really close and see if she can see, is there an air gap between the bones and the grip of the axe, or was the skeleton itself holding that axe?
So Sarah gets close and turns to you and says that the skeleton is holding the axe. And as she turns and says this to you,
oh, crap.
The skeleton comes to life.
Oh, crap, guys.
Almost the axe. Still holding the axe.
Crap.
Woohoo! Everybody roll initiative.
Click on your character and then do the initiative. 3! Okay.
Yeah, well, good news for you. It gets an initiative.
I access to change the initiative for my character. I must not have the permission or something.
You can't double click on your name in the turn order? Everybody has permission to. I don't. If you double click on the number, you should be able to change the number.
I'm trying to, but no,
What'd you get?
10.
Okay. So this thing
Yeah.
come. Oh, was that the wrong person? Sorry.
Yeah, that was me.
Good old thing with like white hair.
Colby and Brady, I wanted to thank you, just in general, for being the guys that are rolling the really crappy dice, so that the rest of you've been taking it for the team. The rest of us have been able to get over 10.
Yeah. We've just been having crappy rolls tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, Crypt, what would you like to do?
I will attack
All right.
with my helmet.
Oh, the young. This is clearly an instance of let's run and live.
He's not that hard to kill, I don't think.
Yeah.
19 hits, I believe.
Yes, it does.
It's just that you live to be 90 by, like, not taking those 1% chances of death. Because after you've taken about 1% chances of death, you're dead.
21 damage.
Ronda's here.
22 damage, actually.
Okay.
For my first attack. Second attack. 21 hits, I think.
Yes, it does.
Another 21 damage. 22 damage. Four damage total.
Okay. Hold on a second.
And just for, I don't know, theater of the mind clarity, Vaelish Gant is staying back at the end while we're up.
Yeah, that would probably make sense.
For one thing, I don't want a guy with handcuffs on a boat.
Right.
Falls off. Just
Yeah.
Let's give Rhonda a second to join us on Skype. So, oh, there you are.
Yay!
So, Rhonda, roll initiative so we can see where you're at in the stack.
You have to do better than a 1, or else you're going to be after the monster.
Right.
We'll call it a 9.
All right. Okay, so Crypt, did you want to do anything with movement?
I'm pretty good at the spot I'm at right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I've got reach on him, so.
Anything with a bonus action?
I will enter a rage, actually.
Okay.
Rage number 2.
Yep. I've got like 3-ish, 4.
Sam, what would you like to do?
I'm going to viciously mock him.
Okay. So he gets a wisdom save, right?
Mm,
I don't know why, but...
How much wisdom does an empty skull have?
Well, evidently not much, because he got a 2.
4 damage.
Okay. Did you want to do anything with a bonus action or movement?
Bonus action, I will give Turpin a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Jock.
I will turn into a bear.
Okay. You're a bear. Rawr.
I'm a bear. And I will go attack the skeleton.
Okay. Move you on up there.
Alright. Does a 15 hit? Or 16?
Yes, it does.
And 24 on my second attack.
That hits.
Six for my first bite attack.
Okay.
And 16 for my second.
Okay.
I rolled max damage on my second one.
Nice.
That's all I'm gonna do.
All right. So, Rhonda, we'll get you caught up here. These guys have traveled. Well, first they traveled to Caer Dineval and found that Avarice, the albino tiefling, left the Caer about 8 hours after the last time you guys left, and she headed off somewhere to the north. They then traveled to East Haven to see about talking to Vaelish Gant's second contact, Dazan. But when they arrived, they were greeted to a human bonfire. Evidently, Dazan was arrested and executed by being burned at the stake. And so...
Was that the red wizard that you wanted to meet up with?
That it was, yes. And...
okay, so no more red wizard, and Avarice is fucked off somewhere.
Yep, she's off in the wind. And the captain of the town militia came and asked the party to check out. There were 4 fishermen that have been missing for a 10-day. And they got in some boats and found these caves. There was also a seance, but they didn't attend, but Turpin's imp did. And evidently this halfling named Rolando in the White Lady Inn was successful in contacting a spirit known as the White Lady, who is the White Lady Inn is named after a legend of a ghostly apparition that walks Loch Donashire. And legend says that she's looking for her drowned husband, who it is rumored had a chest full of treasure that had been capsized his boat. And so they have entered these caves following footprints they believe to be possibly the fishermen, and they're finding all sorts of stuff in here. They fought a water weird, and now there's this frost giant skeleton. And what would you like to do? Something to note, the frost giant skeleton is vulnerable to bludgeoning damage.
Alright, we'll start with some bardic inspiration on Jugjock.
Okay. So Jugjock gets a d6.
And please remember, it is combat inspiration. You can add it to your damage, or you can add it to your AC if you're...
Alright.
And I'll give Jugjock heroism as well. Immune to fear, and gaining hit points, 4 hit points every beginning of every turn.
Nice. All right.
I will stay back now.
Okay.
Yes, you might want to back up, my lady. This is a nasty looking thing.
And so Turpin, what would you like to do?
Well, Turpin really thinks that it would be better for all of us if we would run away from things that want to kill us, but he's gonna try to keep his friends alive and move over to here. That's 30 feet. Oh, and let's see, these squares are 10 feet,
Right.
not 5.
No, that's about 30.
So I'll move here where I've got a line of sight to big and ugly and dead, and I will nuke him.
Go for it.
So it looks like he gets 21.
Yep.
And the 13 damage, of which 3 is fire.
Okay.
And then my second one is 11, which probably won't hit. Oh wait, the 21 I was going to add Bardic Inspiration, which is a D6.
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, D8.
Oh, it's a D8. All right, ignore what I just did. 4.
So wait, does Sam also, does his Bardic Inspiration, is it also combat inspiration?
Oh, I didn't know. What does it
No,
do?
basic Bardic Inspiration.
Okay, so
To one roll for a spell.
right, so you can, basic Bardic Inspiration can be added to an attack roll, an ability check, things like that, but not to damage.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll add it to this second attack roll since it was an 11.
Okay,
And
a 15 hits.
all right, cool. So he's going to take a total of 30 from those two.
Let's see.
Unless he's got immunity to fire, in which case it's 27.
Wait, are you right next to the giant?
Me? Heck no.
No, wait, that's Colby. Never mind. No, that's getting my dudes. Next up.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with the map if Turpin's next to something bad.
Right? All right. The frost giant is still stuck in the ice, but it is going to stare at Crypt. Crypt, you need to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
I think that gets it. That's 20.
Yes. So you do not take 10d6 cold damage.
10d6. Yeah, do you remember that 1% chance of dying I was talking about?
That was it. Crypt, what would you like to do?
I will, since I'm going to attack it.
Okay.
That is a nat 20 to hit.
All right, double damage.
$43 damage.
All right. You knock the frost giant's head clear off his body, and the skeleton just partially crumbles and partially stays in place where it's frozen into the ice, and it crumbles and dies again.
Turpin yells at the bear to quit chewing on that thigh bone.
There's no meat on that.
Out of this chamber, you see that the path splits. One goes almost straight to the north, and the other veers to the east and goes down some stairs. Some more rough-hewn stairs.
All right. Well, Turpin's going to do his check to see if he can... So I get a 20 to look for footprints.
Okay, yeah, they appear to stop here. Where you're at.
Oh, really? Okay. I will ask a look, and does it appear that there's a reason for that? Like there's new frost or something on the surface?
No.
Or is it just they just... All right, I'll ask Sarah to...
So with
check
your
the
20,
ceiling.
with your 20, you can determine that there was some kind of scuffle here.
Oh.
And remember, there was fresh blood, well, semi-fresh blood staining the floor in here.
Yeah, this chamber where the the frost giant attacks, it's just going to be totally chaotic. But going north out of here, there are no footprints.
And there's no footprints to the passage going down the stairs to the east.
Yeah, right. Well,
So it's
guys,
entirely up to you.
All right, I want to search this area to see if there are any, I don't know, scraps or bits of metal or something that might identify a person. They don't have to be treasure. Just like a fish hook.
Yeah.
No, that was Bill's favorite fish hook.
Yeah, you find scraps of clothing and some old rusted fish hooks and some fishing line.
I don't know if we can say our mission is at an end or not, but it looks like someone who fishes met their end here. So, hey, Jock, is the axe any good, or is it just a rusted up piece of crap only usable by skeletons?
Yeah, it's just a rusted up great axe. It's nothing special.
And it's great if you're a skeleton.
Pretty great axe. If you
Yeah,
ask
I mean, it's clearly great.
And also, it's like humongous.
No, we should take it. It's a great axe.
Yeah, it's a great axe.
Well, we're here. It doesn't look like there's anything here. Just now, curiosity alone is going to make me want to take at least a little bit of look around. But we do need to go continue our search for these, for some of the lost guys, because I don't think I saw enough scraps here to be for 4 people.
So, coming from here, you hear what sounds like an old woman singing a little song. She goes, finger bones in my soup. I like halfling knuckles in my soup.
Oh, Rhonda.
help with their singing.
And then you hear,
Rhonda, show her what real singing is.
Well, I just wanted to share with Lissy that we heard about a hag that had a magical pot that had food in it.
yeah, it's a magical cult. The spirit that was contacted in the seance revealed that there was a hag in some caves that had a cauldron that was capable of concocting a magical stew that was enough to feed everybody in the town indefinitely. And that there was a hag named Maud Chiselbone that was in the caves.
Now, hags are something that, the smart thing to do now would be to return and tell militaristic adventurers the location. We found the hag, and let them wipe her out.
That's part of our job.
What? We're searching for 4 fishermen. Doing threat elimination is.
I guess you have a point.
So Turpin's trying to say, we'll just let the people in town know that we found the hag, and you young folks can say, we need to kill a hag.
So are you
We
going...
need to kill the hag.
So which direction do you want to go?
Turpin's indicating his with an arrow.
I see. That's a good idea.
I have a better idea. Let's all sneak and then jump the hag.
That sounds gross.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So I guess the question though is, which direction do you want to go? because you only heard the echo coming from this general direction. And you've got 2 directions you can go.
Yep. I've talked a lot, so somebody else has to lead.
We should go this way.
Okay.
If nobody...
Yeah. No, you're our leader.
You're our
You
leader.
said something.
I'm not leading. I joined late. I don't know half of what we're up to, so I'm following. Trying to keep people safe.
Okay, hold on here.
Hey, look! Stew! Finger bones in the soup.
I'm more looking at this right over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's also of some concern. Rhonda, we should stay at the back and let these hardy fools with their swords and axes go up there and... Well, one of them's still a bear.
Yeah.
Right you are, my dear. Right you are. Here, take my arm and we'll help each other.
You see...
Oh, I didn't tell... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to tell her that I picked up ritual magic, so now I can make a floating chair for her while we travel.
Oh, how thoughtful.
So coming into this room, you see that the centerpiece of this room is a large cauldron. And I'll tell you how large. Hold on a second here.
Looks like it's 10 feet.
Yeah, well. Yeah, everything's 10 feet.
I knew I should have eaten that cake last night.
It's not in here. Not here. Because it's in here. So this cauldron is 4 feet wide, has a mouth 3.5 feet in diameter, and is made of thick copper. Embossed on its bulging sides are images of satyrs and nymphs in repose, holding ladles. It sits on 5 little clawed feet that keep it from tipping over. And it is boiling, and there's just this delicious smelling stew. The entire cavern just smells of this delicious stew. And there's this old woman stirring it with a large ladle. And next to her, there is a glowing orb. And she looks up. Behind her is a stone, what looks to be like a work table. Let's see here. There's a top of this is like chunks of meat and separated bone, and the entire top of this stone work table is bloodied. Heaped around the block are rusty hatchets, and the flayed corpses of the 4 fishermen are laying on the ground near the stone block.
Javelin.
This old decrepit woman She's wearing tattered furs to stave off the cold. She looks up at you. She goes, "Oh, visitors, are you hungry?"
Hungry for justice. That's the tick. Sorry, cross genres.
So, oh shit, I need to find another monster.
You're so silly.
Another monster. So, Crypt, you said javelin.
Yep. Well, no, I was joking. I'm not gonna actually throw a javelin. I'd probably just move till I'm 10 feet away from her, probably. If it is my initiative.
Well, if you're not going to throw the javelin, are you intent on attacking her? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on here. In that case, everybody roll initiative. It's not like she's not aware of what you did to the frost giant.
Oh my gosh.
I know what you did to my Boney.
Was bad.
20s.
I have been getting such great rolls.
Let's go.
Right.
10 again.
Yep. Well, Colby Brady, maybe I may have thanked you for taking the bad rolls a little early.
You bet.
Nah, you can still thank me. I got a one.
Oh, did you? Holy
Yeah.
Flame scowl.
Okay, so Jock, what'd you get?
You don't need to change mine.
Oh, you still got a 10?
Yeah.
Consistency.
All right. So, sensing your imminent violence, the Will-O-Wisp flares, and then is going to go over and attack Crypt. But misses with a 13. And that's about all I've had with dealing with that dice and their crappy rolls. 2 dice. Crypt, what would you like to do with the Will-O-Wisp up in your grill? Oh, wait.
Can I attack? What, does it respond to physical damage?
Oh, it doesn't have 0. I'm sorry. What was that?
Does it respond to does it take physical damage?
It is immune to lightning and poison. It has resistance in an acid, cold, fire, necrotic, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. It is immune to exhaustion, grappled, paralyzed, poisoned, prone, restrained, and unconscious. So yes, it can take damage, but it has resistance since you don't have a magical weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck hitting it.
Oh my god, you little shit. Sorry, my cat is...
Does a 18 hit?
Yes, does.
Okay.
Alright, how much damage?
24 damage for my first attack.
Okay, so 12. Okay.
I think 5 misses with my second attack.
That it does.
And that is my turn.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. My cat is stealing things from me.
Actually, no, I'll enter a rage and then
Okay.
Oh, Tassy cat.
Little brat.
As keep stealing things. My plan is working flawlessly. Stealing your stuff and building a death.
Yeah, she still likes to steal minis. Okay. All right. So, Juk, what would you like to do?
God, why can't we just be level 6 so I actually have magical attacks? Everything we fought has been like resistant to non-magical.
At least it's not immune.
Don't say that. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the old lady.
Okay, let's see here.
Beating up the elderly.
Hey, you know.
She
So,
should be easier.
I don't-
She's so old.
so you 30 feet would put you right here.
Okay, the brown bear has 40 feet.
Okay, so 40 feet.
So it should be just like right next to it or something.
Yeah, you can get there. Go for it.
Okay. 18 on my first attack.
Yes, that hits.
And my other attack misses with a 7.
All right, so how much damage did you do?
Um, 12.
Okay.
Well, 12 ought to auto kill any old ladies.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
sure-
think she's an old lady.
I'm sure she's dead now.
She is
You
not,
can come back.
but she does revert to her true form. And I think I have something for this. I do. This is now what she looks like.
What a pretty old lady. Beautiful.
So, let's see here. Because she's reverted to her true form, Juk, Crypt, and Sam need to make DC 11 Wisdom saving throws.
Yeah, I got a 18. 15.
Oh, that's disgusting.
What about Crypt?
18.
Okay, so you all saved. You are not feared by the hag. She is a sea hag. All right. So, Juk, anything? You don't have any more movement. I don't think you have a bonus action. So, all right.
Yeah.
Rhonda, you hear all of this ruckus going on down the stairs. What would you like to do?
I will start beating on my bass drum that I have strapped to my back.
Okay.
I will start pounding out a war beat. I will. I'll advance towards the stairs to about the same place that Brady's at, right behind him.
Okay.
And I will throw my voice down the stairs and try to sound big and intimidating, like the drums of war. Beat your hearts last as we come through. And,
Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she got a 14, so she is not intimidated. Anything you would like to do with a bonus action or more movement?
Sam, do you have Bardic Inspiration yet?
No, not yet.
Cool. Well, I'll cast Bardic Inspiration on my buddy Sam, who's right in front of me. Say, don't let me down, little buddy.
So special.
Okay, and don't forget that's combat Bardic Inspiration, so you can add that to damage.
Or your armor class.
Right. So, Sam, what would you like to do?
I will go around the corner so I can actually see what's happening. And I will do something you have never expected and do Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know you had that spell.
Wait, what's Vicious Mockery? I've never heard of that.
Nope, she only gets a 7. Maud Chiselbone's going to put you on a list.
Wait, can I apply it to magic damage or is it just physical damage?
Well, it's psychic damage.
No, the Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, you can apply it to any damage.
And I shall do so.
The best mockery ever.
12 damage.
Nice.
Oh, that was bad.
That's actually a pretty good hit.
Yeah,
Any-
she has mama issues, so when you laid that your mama thing on her, it go deep.
Alright.
Anything with a bonus action or movement?
Colby, take a Bardic Inspiration. Enjoy that.
All right. Well,
Let me know when you use it, because it can do a thingy.
that's good for Jock, because he might want to use it right now. The first thing that Maud does is she stares at Crypt. Crypt, make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 19. Okay.
Okay, that's good for you because you would have dropped to 0 hit points.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention that 1% chance of death thing again.
I think it raised a little to like a 5.
She then
I'm not that wise, but I'm wise enough.
She then makes a claw attack on Jock. But she's going to miss with an 11. Stupid old bitch. Turpin, what would you like to do?
Turpin will cautiously move down the stairs around the corner here. and so that he can now see down the stairs and see all this scene in front of him,
Right.
and just basically take it all in horror, and see that
So,
there's this floating.
so Turpin, you need to make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw now that you can see her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
11.
So you are not frightened.
I am very frugal with my saves.
Not over, but right at.
I may not save often, but when I do, you're always excited.
Oh, that would be wicked, to where you have to actually hit the number. Anyway, so I see this floating skull here that is
Yep, little floating orb.
this floating orb thing that is pulsing and glowing and seems to be malevolent.
Right.
And since I'm at the top of the stairs, I should be able to see over these people that are down at the bottom.
You're correct. You are 10 feet above Crypt and the Will-O-Wisp.
So I kind of like this. This is a sniper perch that I happen to be on. And I will zap that one.
Okay.
Let's see. And, oh, crit. So the first one does 19.
Double damage, but it will take regular damage from fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This one just does the, roll 20 does the, roll another d10 thing instead of the double damage.
Okay.
So, whatever. And then I'll shoot at it again. Oh, 2 good shots.
Yeah.
So
So
another 16.
you blast the Will-O-Wisp, and it winks out of existence.
I saved you, Joke Jock.
Yay!
No, Crypt. You saved Crypt.
Not Jack, yeah.
Wait. I can't see these little icons. This one here that's Crypt.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, it looks like a bug at the scale that I'm at. It looks like a bug. I can see little feelers poking out on the side.
Yeah, that's the what passes for hair on a Dragonborn.
Okay, got it.
Anything with a bonus action or more movement?
Let's see. I don't think I've got the range to do anything bonusy there, so. But just for grins, I will assist Crypt. Crypt feels a gentle force at the small of his back, and basically I'm going to do my telekinetic push, which I can shove people like 5 feet, and they can choose to fail.
Okay.
So if you want 5 feet of extra movement towards the hag, Crypt, you have it.
Okay. Sweet. Now I have 45
Or you
movement.
can choose to fail.
You could fight it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight it. Like,
And that's it.
there's no enemies
That leaves
behind
you
me.
like there. Okay. So, Crypt, what would you like to do?
I will move towards the hag.
She says, "Oh, this is going to be delicious stew. Lizard folk and dragonborn are my favorites. I'm going to boil your flesh off your bones."
No, you're not. And I'm gonna stab her.
A dog you see around here.
Hey, that's mean. And I'm gonna
You
stab
know,
her.
that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
I think for irony purposes, we need to grapple her and drag her into the stew.
Do it like kind of Hansel and Gretel kind of thing.
Exactly, yes, exactly.
No. How about no?
That's
How
good.
about no? First attack, soft 20 to hit.
That hits.
25 points of slashing damage.
So,
Second.
12.
That's 17 to hit.
Yes.
18 points of slashing damage. Tail attack. 17 again.
Hits.
For 13 points of slashing damage. Yeah, that's slashing damage, I think.
So 6. Okay. I don't know. Maud's not doing so well.
That is my turn.
Okay.
I have reach on her, but she doesn't have reach on me. Is how it should be right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jock, what would you like to do?
I'll keep trying to slash at her.
Okay.
18 on my first attack.
That hits.
24 on my second.
And that hits.
Uh, 6 damage on the first hit and 13 on the second. So 19.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything with my bonus action.
Okay. Rhonda, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to try to wedge myself a little farther down the stairs, just to the point where I can have some line of sight on the hag.
Okay.
I will get cast Dissonant Whisper. So that the wisdom save DC 14.
Nope, she got to 7.
Alright, so
Man,
She
I'm rolling
takes-
a crap tonight.
3d6 psychic damage.
Okay.
Roll that real quick. So 8 psychic damage and is afraid of me and wants to get as far away from me as possible.
So she takes the psychic damage and she drops to her knees in front of Crypt and Jock. She's like, no, please don't harm an old woman.
Hmm.
And as a reaction, I'll yell out, "Surrender, old woman!" Surrender, crow!
Yeah, I was just going to say crone. Sam, what do you want to do? You can deliver the killing blow.
Vicious Mockery.
Shit.
Tried and true.
Mock her to death.
And she gets an 8.
The knights who say neat.
4 damage.
And she keels over with blood squirting out of her nose. All right, so in here, you migrained her to death.
Brain aneurysm.
So this cauldron is sitting here, and there's this piping hot stew, and you see chunks of meat floating in it.
Now this is for you, Juck.
And there's like a boiled eyeball in there, and the stew was too bland for Maud's taste. So she's added some additional meat and organs to the stew to spice it up to her liking. Does anybody have identify?
Not me.
But I do want to go try some of that stew.
It is a spicy broth, but it's quite tasty, considering that it has parts of the four fishermen in there, some knucklehead trout, some rotting frost giant meat.
Wow. Well, while that horror is going on, Turpin will keep his back to it as best he can and mutter about different cultures and how they should be respected. While he's looking at the table with the slaughtered remains of people, and he's trying to see if there's any things that loved ones or people back home might want. I'm not going to, bring corpse flesh back, but if they have their fishing rods or whatever the heck, something that show that we did find these people.
No, but you do see that there is a wet chest it looks like it has been recently pulled out of the water, but it looks like it's been underwater for a long time. The iron bands that close the chest and the lock are all rusted over.
Well, I will step far away, like 30 feet away, and ask Rhonda to assist me with attempting to open this chest. That is hopefully really far away from that disgusting stew.
Jock, Crypt, and Sam can make an Arcana check.
Okay. $20. 13. Yay.
What did Crypt get?
$13 as well.
So
18. Sorry, 18.
Sam, you are able to determine that this is in fact a cauldron of plenty. If water is poured into the in order for you to use it, you're going to have to dump out its current disgusting contents. But if water is poured into the cauldron and stirred for 1 minute, it transforms into a hearty hot stew, which can provide one nourishing meal for up to 4 people per gallon of water. The stew remains hot while in the cauldron, then cools instantly after it is removed. The outside of the cauldron remains safe to touch despite the heat of the stew. The cauldron can create stew 3 times. It then ceases to function until the next dawn, when it regains all of its uses. And that is a cauldron of plenty. So, Turpin and Rhonda, what are you going to do with this chest?
We are telekinetically, or mage hand, trying to open it from 30 feet away and not standing directly in front of it.
It is locked.
All right. Well, the easy thing to do, if nobody has the ability to pick it, the easy thing to do is to just take it with us and deal with it.
Or I could just break the lock off. Somebody could, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an old chest.
Yeah. You could
Shouldn't
do
be
that.
hard to break it open. So.
Well, if we're worried that it might have breakables in it, we can take it back with us and get a saw or something like that and try to cut it open, or get a chisel. And but hey, whatever. All the stuff like the cauldron and this chest, we can chunk them in the gym, my house. Chunk them in my house.
So,
Yeah, we could.
So you try to put the cauldron and the chest into the gem, and the cauldron and the chest are then spit back out, and you see a number of pieces of clothing, probably turpins, are thrown out, and a bedroll and a pillow are thrown out, and you hear a voice say, "I'm not a bag of holding. Carry your own crap."
Uh,
Oh, you done made your teeth mad.
man, hate it when that happens.
So are you going to take the cauldron and the chest back into the boat and take it back to town? Is that your...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
So
a
you,
lot of good.
as you're moving the chest, you can hear inside that there are coins jingling around. And you drag this back to the boat, load it up, and you slowly row your way back to town, keeping in mind the fable of the white lady's husband who capsized her boat with a chest that very much sounds like this one. And you get back to town, and you were each paid 300 gold pieces by the captain, and the town speaker comes out and kind of looks this cauldron over. And the speaker is named Daneth Whalen. He's a pretty good man. He does his best to take care of East Haven, and he is in awe of this cauldron. And he says that he would like to purchase it from you.
Oh, they can have it for free. Like,
No,
Don't say that.
no. We can use the money to help more people. I mean, this cauldron is going to help people by feeding them, right, speaker? You're not going. What are your intentions? Because hopefully you're not going to like cook up anything awful. Oh, by the way, I used prestidigitation to try to sterilize this whole thing because
Okay.
it was in nasty shape.
He offers 500 gold piece gems for the cauldron.
that's 2,500 gold?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Oh.
yeah, that works for me.
He says-
each of us take 500 and.
He says the only thing is, he says that everybody's going to want this cauldron. So what he's going to have to go and call in some favors and some scripts because he doesn't have 500 or 5 of these gems on him right now, but he can get them, and he's going to have to call in some favors, and he can pay you tomorrow. What he suggests is locking the cauldron up in the town hall overnight, and then tomorrow he'll pay you, and that'll be good, and the cauldron will be safe until then.
Oh, dealio.
Sure. As far as my 500 goes, I intend to make a heavy purchase of ale. Now, I am going to go talk to my genie and see if he's okay if we store liquor, because he can always skim off 10% for himself.
That's true.
But if I can't transport the liquor, then I have to rethink stuff. The purpose was.
Yeah, your genie will allow you to store the liquor. He was just trying to teach you a lesson.
All right.
And he says, "Oh, sir, take the gem, and we can go ahead and discuss the liquor trade as well." He says, "I assume that you're talking about taking some kegs of ale north to Caer Dineval and Caer Koenig. Is that correct?"
Yes.
So
Yeah, just like typical merchant travel. Yeah.
we can certainly discuss that tomorrow. I'll pay you for the cauldron first, and we will take care of all of that. He also gets there's a halfling in town who works as a locksmith, and a blacksmith, and they come over and they're able to open the chest. And when they open the chest, 4 crawling claws come out, and they're quickly stomped on and stabbed. Crawling claws being severed hands that move on their own. And inside the chest is 600 gold pieces.
Nice.
That you can divvy up amongst yourselves, which would be 120 gold pieces each.
I'm going to try to guilt the party into donating that money to the families of the 4 fishermen.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Rondo will donate 50 gold.
Okay.
Look, I've got a career I'm trying to build here, y'all.
That's acceptable.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really generous of you guys.
Yeah, it's only because Turpin's over here making me feel guilty about it. Damn.
And Rhonda, do you currently have an inspiration point? Or did you use it?
I used it last week.
So you get an inspiration point for good role play from last week's session?
Hey.
See, he's rewarding us because we didn't kill anything.
Yeah, you guys didn't take the obvious out and go on a murder spree. And we will pick up where we left off here next week on Friday night at 7 p.m. Or, I'm sorry, 6 p.m.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
Yay! Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.